There we go. So yeah, so my name is Terry Scheitower, and I am a productivity coach in Utah. I actually coach 3 locations here in our Salt Lake County area, so 3 offices. So hopefully we can all get to know each other a little bit. Did anybody just get back from family reunion? Did anybody go to that? Got some no's. It was really fun. I love that. So that's my plug. Hopefully you guys can go next year. It's a really great way to network and meet people in other states. So thank you for sharing where you're from. So tonight we are going to be going through our Capture More Leads sessions. So just to give you a little bit of idea of who I am and where I'm from and kind of my journey in real estate. So this is my 21st year in real estate. So I did start my career with a different, very small boutique franchise, and then went into a franchise. I was a co-owner in 5 locations, became an associate broker, recruiter, trainer. I've done a lot in my 21 years, so love real estate. That's one of my favorite things, is that there's just so much opportunity for growth. So I would imagine most people on here are fairly new. So give me an idea. You can raise your actual hand or your virtual hand, but who's been on here who's been in real estate less than a year? Got a few, lots of you. Okay. Who's been on here more than a year or had their license more than a year? Couple of you. Okay. Awesome. Just so I kind of have a feel for the crowd here. Awesome. Thanks, you guys. So yeah, so Ignite is awesome. So I kind of want to start off with, I've actually participated in, I believe, every one we've done so far this session. So tell me, what have you guys learned? What has been a big, what has really stood out to you from what you've learned over the last few Ignite sessions? Anything you've been able to take action on? Diane, I see your hand first.
Just being more consistent and time blocking.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. Consistency is key, and without a schedule, it doesn't exist, right? So love that you're getting into the time blocking. Who else? What else have you guys learned this week so far?
Talk to humans.
What was that?
Talk to humans.
Talk to humans. Absolutely. Every day, that's what we do. We're going to talk a lot more about that today. So good answer. One more aha that you've learned from the week so far. And if I don't see your hand, it's okay, just shout it out. Anyone? Any other takeaways? I know we've talked a lot about systems. Up to this point, we've talked a lot about talking to people you know, your sphere of influence. Anything else you've been able to take action on?
Just the different ways that we can lead generate. So if we're not big on talking to people, just using the social media platform or just any way possible, like t-shirts, there's just so many different ways we can lead generate.
Yes, absolutely. So many different ways. So that is a perfect segue into tonight. So we are going to be talking about other ways that we can generate leads, and we are still kind of in the lead generation area. So we're going to be talking about more ways to get leads other than just your sphere of influence. I know up to this point, it's been a lot of, talking about the people that you know. So in this one, we're going to talk about other methods for meeting other people. So new people, getting to know them, all of that stuff. So you hear it over and over again that the more leads, the better. And the quality of the leads obviously is going to help you convert them. So we're going to talk a lot about that. So I want you to kind of think about some of the questions that you guys have for tonight. So when you think of capture more leads, just write down a few questions that you have. And then throughout the process, I just want to make sure that we get those answered for you. So if you have burning questions and we don't get them answered, At the end of our class today, we will make sure to answer those if they have not been answered. So the
Hey,
next
Carrie,
one,
are you
Yeah.
supposed to be sharing your screen? Maybe it's my computer, but it's just black.
uh-oh. Can everybody else see my screen?
You guys can see it? Okay, it's me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That would not be good if nobody's seeing what's on the screen. So I don't know what's happening with yours, but hopefully you can get that fixed.
Yep, thanks. I'll fix it.
You are welcome.
Actually, I can't see it in either. It says here, Terry has started screen sharing, but I cannot see it either. Actually, I got it now. Thank you.
See it now?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I
think
got
we had to sign in. Thanks.
Hold on 1 second.
It's doing something crazy.
Can you see it, David, now? Okay. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, perfect. So this is a little bit about the agenda that we're going to be covering today. So we are going to cover systems that work. We're going to cover prospecting versus marketing, more resources than just like your SOI, like I mentioned before. And then we are going to be covering referrals. We will, at each little section, we will go over any ahas, which thank you for sharing those. I love those that participate. It really just helps everybody else kind of learn the lesson and have it stick. So I really appreciate you guys when you are sharing those. We're going to talk about how to capture every single lead and then your daily success system. So that's basically the agenda that we'll be going through today. So again, kind of think of your questions, write those down, and we'll make sure that we get those answered. So did anybody have any challenges or anything from your previous sessions that you want to cover as well? Anything that's come up for you that maybe it wasn't working, you weren't quite sure what to say? I do want to cover the challenges as well. Any questions burning from the last few sessions? Okay. So we will start with this quote. So you love people, but at the same time, you haven't yet learned to love hunting for them, as Gary Keller says in The Shift. So today's class, we are going to be talking a lot about going out there and hunting for more people, more relationships, different leads, and then obviously capturing them. So we want to gain a deeper understanding of how to use messaging when it comes to lead generation. We also want to be able to expand on your referrals as well. So we're going to start off right here with that. We actually already covered that. So your number one job is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. So we talk a lot about lead generation, right? So that's the number one job that we have to accomplish every single day. So I would challenge you to set an intention every single day with either the amount of people you're going to communicate with, the amount of appointments you're going to be setting, but really our number one job is to go out there and find the motivated buyers and sellers. Without them, obviously we don't have anything to do. So our number one job is that. So just really remember that lead generation basically is the answer to all questions when it comes to real estate. Without the leads, we have no sales. So it's very important. You're going to hear in a lot of classes, people are going to say, give you questions, and the answer is always lead generation. So we're going to talk about the 2 M's of lead generation. So messaging and method. What do you think that means? What do you see the difference between a message and a method when it comes to lead generation? Any thoughts on that? Also see
I
a lot.
would say,
Oh.
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would say a message is what you say, and a method is how you say it.
Perfect. I love that. Yes, very good. Yeah, so the message basically, it needs to match your market. So we're all in different markets here, and there obviously is a national market as well. So understanding your market is a key piece of our business as well, making sure we really know what's going on. So the message must first match your market, and then it must also make an offer for immediate response. Has anybody heard the term MOFR? MOFIR? If not, that's basically what that stands for, is make an offer for immediate response. So that is something also that you want to have in your messaging. So match the market by tailoring your intended message to the sentiments and the market conditions of a target group in the area that you operate with. So it's important we know what's happening locally as well as nationally when it comes to your market. And then the MOFR, so make offer for immediate reaction, basically is just that call to action. So in all of your messaging, making sure you have something on there that says, call me now, or call today for a free home analysis, call today for a free consultation, something like that. Click here, you know, so always make sure that in your messaging, you are putting out some form of an offer so that they can take action on your message. So what else do you guys think would be something good that you could offer to generate a response? And I always like to think, what would make you, especially in like social media, what's going to make you stop the scroll? So what kind of messaging have you seen that you think we could use in real estate? Any ideas on that? Anything that comes to mind?
Think like competitive prices, like prices that are at a lower point than everything that's out there, like home prices that seem like a good deal, I think is what catches people's attention sometimes.
I love that, Amanda. Absolutely. So you could do something like click here for, you know, homes in this price range, or click here to see, you know, the prices in your area, something like that. So I love that. A list of homes is a really good call to action. Any other ideas that have popped up for you guys? Something that would make you stop and pay attention that you've thought of? Don't be shy.
You could do like polls on your like feed, like question their knowledge, and then if they want to learn more, they could like click a link and learn more.
Yes, click here, learn more. Those are all really good call to actions. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, so I mean, when you think of things that you're seeing, so I'm sure a lot of you are following other realtors. So think of the things that is catching your attention when you're thinking of your own MOFRs that you're putting out there. So something like, this awesome house just came to market. If you're looking for a home in this neighborhood, call me right away. So a lot of us are able to use other people's listings to market if we don't have our own. Most of the time you do need permission for that. So make sure you're getting permission from the listing agent. And it's a really good way to go out there and get people to be interested in something. So putting a home up there and asking if they want to look in the neighborhood. Interest rates. We've had a lot of talk recently about interest rates, right? So getting them something like, would you love an interest rate at 5%? Call me today. So there's many ways to do that. And the public right now, you know, the consensus is interest rates are high. So what could we do as far as some kind of, you know, make offer that messaging? Hey, are you interested in getting a 5% interest rate? Call me today to find out how. So interest rates, I think, are a really big one. And then also, and one that I love is just really, you know, do you know the prices of the home in your neighborhood? This is a plug for Command. Hopefully you guys are all using Command and using the monthly neighborhood snapshot. That is really good. Something that you can offer, an item of value that you can offer to people. So, hey, are you interested in knowing what's happening in your neighborhood? Click here, call today, something like that. And then you can set them up on that smart plan, which is going to get them information on their specific neighborhood. So those are just a few other ideas. And thank you to those of you that have shared yours. But yeah, so that's basically kind of the idea behind the messaging and making sure that you match your market. So the other one is method. So we're going to click over here to method. So that, like you were mentioning before, this is really kind of like the how. So there's really two primary methods of getting your message out to your target group, and that would be your prospecting and your marketing. So think of different ways that you could be out there prospecting and marketing. I know we covered that a little bit earlier in one of the other segments, but that's definitely something, you know, Prospecting is the actual activity of it. Marketing, prospecting typically is a little less expensive. That's, using your time, your energy, getting out there, talking to people, where marketing is going to be a little more, potentially more expensive. You're going to be spending your dollars versus your time. But those are really the two biggest ways that you would be out there, the methods to get your message out. Any other thoughts or ahas on the prospecting versus marketing? Or questions around that? Or even around your messaging or any ideas on what you're going to be doing there? Okay. So the next one is really just knowing that leads are everywhere, and how are we going to capture more leads? So I'm sure that you've heard this before, but number one is really the approach to leads. Number two is connecting with the leads. And number three is really asking. So asking for the business, getting there in front of people, connecting with them, and then asking for the business. So first, the approach would be something like a conversation starter. So a good example would be maybe you're in a coffee shop and you hear somebody talking about an open house. So you would approach them, right? And you could just say something like, hey, I overheard you talking about an open house. Are you looking for a home? So really taking that, kind of that foot forward to approach the person that you've heard is talking about doing something in real estate. And then second here, you have connecting with them. So connecting with an individual in a way that builds rapport. So there's so many different ways you can do that. This really is a relationship business. And so really thinking about how can I connect with them? Maybe this is somebody you met at your child's baseball game. Maybe this is somebody you met, I don't know, many moons ago, I built my career playing Bunko. So I always tell people the story. Bunko is basically like a dice game. But I was able to be around 12 different people every single month. So I was able to really connect with them through different, building rapport and getting to know them. Because the more I was around them, the more I could build that up and really connect with them. And then once I was able to do that, then I was really able to ask them for, do you have an interest in buying and selling a home? Do you have an interest in investing in real estate? So that's really kind of, the things that you need to be aware of when you're out there looking for leads. How can I approach them? How can I connect to them? And when is it appropriate to ask them for business or ask them what their situation is? Something else when I think about approaching, connecting, and asking leads is to really remember the FORD acronym. So has anybody heard the FORD acronym or could be able to explain that to us?
Yes, I can. The fourth
Awesome.
acronym is first you ask about family, occupation, recreation, and their dreams.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you, Amanda. So yeah, that's a really good way to start a conversation. It really does all of this. You're able to approach them, connect, and ask. And using the FORD makes it much easier. So just kind of recapping that, you're asking about their family. So maybe family and friends. You're asking about their occupation. So when you ask somebody, hey, how's work going? What do you think the reaction, the natural reaction of them is going to be to you? This is kind of the big one where real estate will come up. So the natural reaction is that they're going to say, well, how's your job? What are you doing for a living these days? So that's where I find real estate comes up. And then recreation is really, what are they doing for fun? What are you seeing that they're doing on social media? So, hey, I saw that you went to Mexico last week. How was your trip? Something like that. So you're really diving in and you're letting them know that you care about them. How's your family? It looks like you guys maybe had another child or something. Just let them talk about their family. Let them talk about their work. And that's really where they're going to ask you about yours. And that's going to, come to play as well. And then dreams, I feel like that's another point when you're really going to be talking about real estate. So do they have any dreams to, they want to put their kids through college and maybe, have they planned on how they're going to do that? Have they had a dream of owning an Airbnb or a dream home or a second home? This is also where a lot of real estate can come up. So I think that's a really good acronym to remember. I also really like to use it when I'm taking notes inside of Command as well. I just kind of make myself that little acronym so I know what's happening with their family. Do they have another child? Do they have a dog? Do they, have any vacations planned? Do they plan to invest in real estate this year? So it's just a good way to keep notes too. Any other comments or anything on the FORD acronym? I've also heard it be called FORM. So the M in that situation, so FORM, stands for motivation, which is very much like dreams, right? Like, what are they motivated by? Awesome. Okay, so any other questions or ahas from that so far?
I like the media content that you had brought up, as far as the polls or interest rates, the prices of the home in the neighborhood to attract people onto our social media.
Yes. Yes, I love that. And you are able to do a home evaluation on your website now. So that's also something that I think is really good to capture that. So capturing, hey, do you know the value of your home? But I love the idea of, call today for a list of homes in your area or something like that. So awesome. As we're going along, I always like to remind people, make a list of action items from the trainings that you're going through. If you can leave here with a few action items that you can jump on and, take action on in the next 24 hours, that's really going to help you along in your business too. So, okay. So moving on to, yes, let's go over to this one. Hold on one second. So lead generation, we're going to cover this. Lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting and marketing, which we basically just kind of talked about the difference between those two. But I love the idea that Gary Keller says this is really a contact sport. So we've got to be contacting people on a daily basis. So you've probably seen this. In fact, I know you've seen it on a few of your previous classes here with Ignite. Really going through, where the prospect is in kind of this 7 to 10 year mark, where they are in the timeline or likelihood of making a move. So I think this is a really good way to see kind of where they are. So when we first talk to them, they might be a lead, they decide to make a move, and then they kind of go down into, right around here where you still have that 7 to 10 years. And we need to be prospecting and marketing to them all along the way until they decide to make that move again. Along the way, when you're down here, you're prospecting, you're marketing, that's really where referrals can come in as well. And we are going to be talking a lot about referrals as we get there. Everyone's timeline in their life is different, right? So it's not always 7 to 10 years. Some of those life things can change over time, marriages, divorces, children, grandchildren, all of that fun stuff. So everyone's different. So it's really on us to try to figure out when they are planning to make that move, to really kind of predict that. And the only way to do that is if we are communicating with them and kind of catching them in our prospecting and marketing. So this just visually kind of shows you the time frame and what we're doing in between their moves. We want to be their consultant for life, not necessarily just for one move. So the second they close on a home, we're going to start that process all over again. Of just making sure that we are in front of them and we're catching all of those leads as we go along. So prospecting versus marketing. So to spend a little bit more time in this area, you can see kind of the difference in the two. So as I mentioned before, marketing really is a little more money intensive. It's a little more passive, and it takes a little bit longer to get the results. So I've always been taught, I've always heard you can spend your time or you can spend your money. And really, when we're talking about lead generation and capturing our leads, we probably should be doing a little bit of both. As newer agents, as we are getting going in the business, we definitely want to lead with revenue. So, spending our time is a little more cost effective to us. So that's where the prospecting comes in. It's a little more proactive. We're going to be out there calling people. We're going to be out there door knocking people. We're going to be going out there and doing open houses. So it's us being proactive versus sending out postcards and hoping that we get calls off of them. That's a little more long-term and a little more passive. Prospecting typically gets you some, more immediate results as well. So any other ideas of things you guys can think of that, really makes you think of marketing versus prospecting? Anything else you can think of in terms of passive versus proactive when it comes to lead generation? No? Okay. I'm checking the chat as well. You are more than welcome to put things in the chat as well. So if you come up with ideas. Awesome. Okay, so this is the next slide that you're seeing here. So hopefully you guys have your student manuals with you. A lot of these lists and slides are going to be in those student manuals. So you want to go ahead and pull those out. These are also listed in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. So hopefully you guys have all received a copy of that and have had a chance to go through that. So different ways that you can go out and prospect. So we obviously have the phone, we have face-to-face prospecting, listings without agency. So your for sale by owners, your expired listings. Just before this class, I was walking through a hall and one of our new agents just called on an expired listing that had actually been expired 5 years ago and they still hadn't sold their home. So now she's currently going on a listing appointment to hopefully take that listing. So they still want to sell. So I think expired listings are really good right now for sell by owners, are a great way to go out there and kind of do that face to face. Then there's always circle prospecting. So circle prospecting, basically calling through a neighborhood. This could be your neighborhood. It could be a recently sold property. And again, this doesn't have to be your recently sold. So, if you go through a neighborhood and you see that a property is just sold, there's awesome scripts for that. Hey, we just sold a property in your neighborhood. Tell the story of the sold. We sold it for, this much money. We sold it for over list price. We sold it in 1 week or less, like whatever the story is. And then you're basically looking for leads off of that. Do you have any plans to move? Do you have any plans to list your home? Recently listed properties, calling around them. Hey, we'd love to help you find a great neighbor. Do you know anybody looking to move into the neighborhood? We're trying to get this home sold. So lots of different things you can do for circle prospecting. I really like circle prospecting around open houses as well. I know our class, I think it was yesterday, was on open houses, but that's a really good way to circle prospect too. Community outreaches, so thinking of like a charity that's really near and dear to your heart, any volunteer work. This is a really good way to get out there and talk to people, get in front of people, and be more proactive when it comes to prospecting. Your key relationships is a really good way. So think corporations, builders in the area, banks, third-party companies, investors. There's so many different key relationships you could really think about prospecting to. Teaching and speaking opportunities. So we have a couple agents here. I have one that is a really good stager. She holds staging classes, so anything you can do like that. I have somebody else who's really good at investing. So they're doing a lot of like, hey, are you looking at investing in real estate, and teaching those classes to other people. So that's a really good way. Meals, getting out there and delivering meals to people. Door-to-door canvassing, also something you could do, just like you do circle prospecting. So around a new listing, around a just sold, around an open house. So door-to-door is a great way. Networking events, huge. We're going to talk a little bit about business to business networking today, but networking events are a really good way to get out there and prospect. Booths and kiosks, when you think about like maybe we just had a home show here. So a lot of people, realtors like to rent out a booth and be able to talk to people prospecting. And then obviously walk-ins. So I don't know how many of you guys get walk-ins in your office. We don't get a lot here. And yet I have sold some houses by people walking into the office. So that's always a nice bonus. But anything you guys see that's missing from here? when it comes to prospecting? Anything that you feel is missing?
Let's see.
Referrals are not in there.
Referrals. Yep, we're gonna talk about referrals. Good catch. Anything else you see that's missing?
Something that I'm gonna start doing in my building is posting quarterly market updates where I provide wine and cheese and just talk about the market. And it's just a way for the residents to network as well.
Love that. Love that. We're actually doing a wine and chocolate party this week. So love the events. I had an agent this week who just did a paint night. I mean, there's so many different events you can do. So I love that.
Can you have
Yes.
social media in here?
Social media, is that what you just said?
Yes.
Yes. Social media is a big one. And so this is coming straight from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, which was written before social media, and all the systems and models still work. So that's why we still use it and teach it. But I just wanted to make sure you guys know that social media is a really good way to prospect. So yes, definitely, get your social media out there. Everything you're doing here, everything you see here, you can actually do on social media. So you're just listed, you're just sold, you're asking for referrals, you're doing events, like everything you do here, you can really just one up it or elevate it by putting it out on social media. So yes. Okay. So the other form, we're going to go over to marketing. So this is also in your student handbook and as well as the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. But things as far as marketing are concerned. So offline advertising, radio, TV, newspapers, your personal vehicles, bus stops, benches, magazines, billboards, yellow pages. I'm not sure if if a lot of people are still doing that one or not, but grocery carts, moving vans, these are all still very valid ways of marketing. So those are offline, online, pay-per-click advertising, SEO, social media, portals. There's just so many ways that you can go out there and market to people. So radio, live social media, there's a lot of people doing like podcasts and things like that, that really are kind of more of a form of marketing versus prospecting. Direct mail, postcard campaigns, special events. We've talked a little bit about events, special event cards, just listed, just sold cards, quarterly market updates, which I think David was talking about doing, promotional items, swag, public relations, press, news releases, columns, and sponsorships, getting out there and sponsoring different things in the community. All great ways to get out there and do the marketing. And as you can see, a lot of this, like we've mentioned before, the prospecting is very more like you're spending your time, the marketing, you're more spending your money. So anything that we didn't mention that you feel like is missing from this list in terms of marketing?
I just had a question. What's an SEO?
Yes, SEO is search engine optimization. So that really goes in line with like the pay-per-click advertising or online leads. So most of the time you're paying somebody to basically optimize people's search. So wherever you're located, if they typed in like Salt Lake City, Utah homes, I want that to be going directly to me. So I'm going to pay somebody to work on my SEO to make sure that I'm getting those people or they're coming to me. So it's basically a way of getting online leads. Something else that I don't see that is on here that I can see that's missing is, so through Command, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but you are able to run Facebook ads, social media ads. That is something you would pay for. And yet it's one of the least expensive ways that we can use our money to generate leads. So hopefully you guys were aware of that. If not, we can talk a little bit more about that at the end, and I can show you some places you can get some more trainings on that. But we have found that that's a really good way to pick up other leads as well. So it goes through Instagram, Facebook, and these leads come in off of, either properties or kind of some of those MOFers, some of those offers that you're putting out there. So any other thoughts on this marketing? or questions. Thank you for asking your questions. Okay. So moving along and putting them together where you're able to use both of those. So think of like farming. So geographic and demographic, you're going to be putting both of those in there. Events are a really good way that you're going to be, you know, spending money to advertise, and you're also going to be prospecting at the same time as you're talking to these people. Open houses, I always treat every open house as it's an event. So, you know, I'm going to be posting it on social media. I'm going to be going out there door knocking. I'm going to be making phone calls. You know, you're treating it as an event. I'm going to be capturing their information. I'm going to be having them fill out sign-in sheets. So open houses are one of the best events, and you could do those every single weekend if you wanted. A lot of people started their careers in our offices by doing open houses 2 and 3 times a week. So just because it's such an easy excuse to go out there and create an event. Seminars, contests, client appreciation events. So that is what we're hosting this week. We're doing our chocolate and wine party. So again, you're doing both prospecting and marketing together. You're going to be out there calling people, inviting them. You're going to be capturing their information through Google Forms or sign-in sheets, however you can do that. And then the marketing, obviously, you're spending money on invitations, you're spending money on, you know, boosting the ads through Facebook ads, things like that. So these are really good ideas of how you're using prospecting and marketing together. Any other kind of thoughts or ahas on those things, putting them together? Hopefully you can at least see the importance of both and how they really do work together. Okay, great.
I had a quick question, Terry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Letitia. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Great, thank you. So I'm looking at farming and I'm thinking of geographic and demographic. Can you give like an example of how you can categorize it, like what area? Because they seem so broad, but how would you narrow it down?
Yeah, so you definitely, that's a very good question. So you definitely want to pick an area that is either, you know, something you can be passionate about. So geographically, maybe you want to, I don't know, I live here in Utah, so we're surrounded by mountains. So maybe you want to, maybe you're a skier and you want to farm an area where you get to go skiing more often or you get closer to the mountains. So that would be more of like a geographical area. We also have a really big planned unit community over here. So a lot of people like to really focus in on farming an area like that. Demographically, I would say you're looking at more like, do I want to, you know, really specialize in first-time home buyers? Do I really want to specialize in more of like the executive community? I find farming is a really good way to go out there and pick the business that you want to do. So if you want to become a luxury agent, you really should be farming in a luxury neighborhood, right? Because those are the people you're going to be talking to. Those are going to be the homes that you're going to be around. Those are going to be the things that you're going to learn and specialize in. Or maybe, you know, we have a couple people in our office that really specialize in townhome sales. They love townhomes because they're able to communicate with more people quicker. You can door knock a neighborhood super quick versus maybe a big, you know, say like horse property neighborhoods where everybody has several acres. So you kind of just have to pick, hone in on where you want to do your business. I would also say that it's very important when you are looking at creating a farm. And I'm really glad you asked this question because I didn't slow down enough to explain what farming is. So if maybe you don't really understand that concept, it's planting seeds. So you're going out there and you're really specializing in one specific area. You're going to plant seeds in those specific areas. So I think it's also important when you're doing the research to come up with where you want to farm, that you know, are homes actually selling in that area? How often do homes turn over in that area? So most of that you can get either from a title company or you can get it straight from your multiple listing service. There are reports and things. Because it doesn't make sense that you would farm an area that literally hardly ever has any movement in it whatsoever. We want your efforts, your marketing and prospecting efforts to really pay off. So we want to make sure you do have a good turnover rate, whether it's geographically or demographically, you want to make sure homes are moving in there. So hopefully that answered your question.
That did. That was great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. You are welcome. Any other questions on that? I'm not familiar with every title company in every state. Here we do have title companies that can offer us awesome services and tools as far as farming is concerned. So I would recommend check out your title companies and see what they can offer you as far as that goes. So here we have what's called like walking farms. So they have an app that we can put on our phone and we can walk around the neighborhood and we can actually see, you know, what do they owe on the property? Is this a renter? Is this a homeowner? So it's a lot of really good information that you need when you're knocking on the door or you're going through that neighborhood. So just kind of a side note, I would lean on your title companies to maybe help you get some of that information too.
Terry, did you say that was an app?
Yes, our title companies here have an app. that
Oh,
we're-
your title. Okay.
It's through the title company. I'm not sure, but I would think there's probably something like that you could purchase in an app store. But it's basically called a walking farm is what they call it.
Thanks.
So yeah, check with your title companies, check with your lenders. They all have so many amazing tools that, you know, we can lean on for them. So yeah. Any other questions on that? Okay, cool. So we're going to move on to our gold mine of referrals. So I know David mentioned earlier something missing on that, the prospecting is referrals. Referrals are such a great way to go out there and get business, and there's so many different types of referrals you can get. So when you're looking at, you know, client referrals, so the previous slide where it kind of showed the ups and the downs in between people purchasing a home and making a move, what can happen in between there is receiving referrals from them. So whenever somebody has a great experience with you, we want to make sure we're capitalizing on that and we're getting more referrals from those people. So when do you think is the best time to ask for a referral when you're dealing with your client? Any thoughts on that?
After closing,
After closing is a great one. Yes. Anytime, I'm seeing that in the chat at the end. Yes, all of those are correct answers. I like to think of when they are happy, when they are on, you know, I joke a lot with my clients that, you know, buying a house is a roller coaster ride. So I want to catch them at the highs. So if we're having an inspection issue and they're upset because the roof isn't great, that's probably not when I'm going to ask them for a referral. But when the appraisal comes in a little bit higher, or I get somebody to pay their closing costs, you know, I really like to express it as, oh my gosh, I have such good news. Isn't that exciting? We just got your closing costs paid. Do you know anybody else who's looking to purchase a home that would love me to be able to get their closing costs paid for them? So I really look at the highs throughout the transaction. So that high happens at the end, it happens in the middle, it happens at, you know, during the loan process. I mean, there's just so many ways to do it. But yes, when they, I love Tony put in here, when they are happy high. So that's what I'm looking for in a transaction is those highs to be able to ask for referrals. Other referrals that you can think of that are really lucrative are agent to agent referrals. So I'm not sure if you guys have started thinking about that, but agent to agent referrals is a wonderful way to make more money and get more business. So my goal every year, we all have a cap with Keller Williams. My goal is to get my cap paid by agent to agent referrals. I've been here for 10 years out of my 21-year career, and I'm pretty sure I've been pretty close to paying that every single year. And the way that I do that, I do attend the conferences, I do go to Family Reunion, I do go to Mega Camp, and my goal is to go meet other agents. The idea behind that is as we're prospecting our clients, we need to be prospecting other agents the exact same way. So you have heard, or maybe haven't heard yet, about like the 36 touch. So communicating 3 times a month to consistently stay in front of people kind of during that up and the down, 3 times a month staying in front of them. You can communicate the exact same way with other agents that you meet in the business. You could even think about, you know, going through your office, like I don't speak Spanish, but I get Spanish speaking clients. That's a great referral for somebody else in my office. So think of things that you have that maybe other people don't have, or what's a good reason people are going to refer people to you. I've recently gotten really into the relocation, so I get a lot of relocation referrals. So where can you add value to other agents to try and get those agent to agent referrals? It's a really big piece of business I don't think a lot of people think of, but it really is a gold mine and is a good way for you to capture more leads. So think of other agents, other states, places you like to visit. You know, whenever I go on vacation, it's awesome because Keller Williams is basically everywhere. I like to pop into their offices, introduce myself. Hey, I work in the Utah area. If you know anyone moving to Park City, St. George, you know, any skiers coming to Utah. I mean, there's so many things. Just pop in and let them know who you are, grab their information, put them into your database and start prospecting to them, marketing to them. You can do both of it to receive those referrals. Here, and I'm sure you guys have the same situation where we have a really big second home market that's about 4 hours away from us. 4 hours to me is far, not necessarily everyone, but to me that's far. So I wanted to have a really good connection with somebody in that area. I was being prospected and marketed by another agent there. So she used to send me coupons. She would send me like little gratitude journals once a year. I was definitely on her mailers, got a postcard every single month. So when I was able to receive that first client who wanted to purchase their second home 4 hours away from me, I was able to refer the business to her and still receive income. So I really do like to tell my clients, I have somebody on my team, basically anywhere in the world you want to go, let me be that resource for you. So I'm very passionate about receiving agent to agent referrals, if you can't tell. So any other thoughts on agent to agent referrals or things that you guys are doing to capture those? Any out of, oh, look, we got marketing happening right now in the chat. I love that. Thank you, Jake. So yeah, right now I do it a lot. When I get on Zoom calls, I will take a picture of all of the people, especially within Keller Williams. I'll get on a Zoom call and I'll take a picture of all the participants. And then I try to connect with those people. Just so that I know, like, where are you from? I can start to see how they're marketing their business. And then if I know somebody in New York, I don't know an agent there, but I know we met some today. So Chicago, I don't necessarily know somebody in Chicago, but I know there's somebody on here today that's from Chicago. So think of connecting with people all across the world and marketing to them. So good job, Jake. Worldwide referrals, I feel like I've kind of touched on that. Obviously, we're a worldwide company, and I think it's just the key is getting that out to your clients, right? Letting them know, you know, we have agents here from Brazil, we have agents here from Mongolia that I can think of that work really heavily in those communities. Make sure they know that you can help them in Brazil, you can help them in Mongolia. So I think at the last thing that I heard, we cover like 50 countries with Keller Williams. So we are very worldwide. So think really big when it comes to getting referrals. The other referrals that I really love, I'm sure some of you guys have heard of BNI or business networking. So business to business referrals. I was in a business to business group for over 10 years of my career and got a lot of business from it. And this is really, you know, other business owners, they understand you're asking for business. They understand you wanting to help them get business. So it's super easy. So I would suggest my favorite activity is one that we actually get from Bold. If you haven't taken Bold, I definitely would recommend doing that. Another training that you'll have an opportunity to go through. And it's where you literally get a sheet that's the alphabet A through Z, and you have a blank line next to every single alphabet. And you go through and you try to figure out a business for every single letter of the alphabet. So A, I need an accountant in my world. B, I need a banker in my world. C, I need a contractor in my world. D, I need a dentist in my world. So you kind of get the idea here. But think of who you can go out and do business to business networking with to receive referrals. Super easy because they're building a business. So it's warmer to me than even going like to a door knocking. It makes sense for me to go out there and say, hey, how are you getting your business? You know, how are you getting your business? I'd love to pick your brain. And I'd also, you know, when I come across somebody who needs insurance, I'd love to refer them to you. A really good script when people like this, you can call up a dentist, you can call up an accountant, and you can say, hey, I'm the local realtor in the area, and I'm looking for a business to refer people to. Are you looking for more business? So who's going to say no to looking for more business? And if they do, good on them. Maybe they really do have more business than they can handle. If they say, no, I don't want any more business, you can say, great. Do you know another dentist in the area that I could refer business to? So think of kind of your key people in business to business. So I think of like in our world, we need insurance agents, we need home inspectors, we need title companies, we need lenders, we need, plumbers, we need electricians, we need a lot of these people in our world. I can't tell you how many people. Property manager was one that gave me so much business, and I could have stopped myself from asking for that business because I probably have thought, and I know I have thought this, a property manager is in relationship with 20 other realtors. Why would I ask them for business? I have a home inspector. When he comes in, he will tell me, because we talk about this, he's like, you're the only agent that actually asks me for business. A home inspector who's with an agent every single day, and he will tell me I'm the only person that ever asks for business. So don't assume just because they're in the real estate world that they already give their business to someone else. Just go and ask them. Another thing with business to business that I like to say is follow your money. Where are you spending your money? So where are you taking your car? I have a mechanic that's in my back pocket. I absolutely love the guy. We give referrals back and forth. Who would think you'd get real estate business from a mechanic, right? But I take him my car and I refer everybody else with a car to go to him. So he reciprocates. But yeah, so mechanics, I mean, there's just so many people that you're spending your money on. Where do you get your hair done? Where do you get your dry cleaning done? Who do you pay for your landscaper? Wherever you spend money, I don't think it's inappropriate to think that you want them to help, support your business too, right? Because you're supporting their business. So business to business is one that I'm super passionate about. So any questions on referrals or any other ideas on the gold mine of referrals, how we can get more referrals? Or any ahas from this, anything you can take away that you can take action on today?
I like the idea that you mentioned when you're in these groups like this. I didn't think about it, but it does make sense if we put our first, last, and where we're from, because I know, people do move to New Jersey, but I know people that move out of New Jersey, and it would be great to know where people are from. So that way I can say, hey, at least I know them. They were in my class, so I know they have the material. I know they have the foundation. So if you guys want, I'm going to put my name and where I am. And then, I thought that was great. Thank you.
Awesome. I think we should all take action right now. So, you can click in the little corner of your box of your name, click on the 3 little dots and rename yourself. Go ahead and rename yourself, put your name and what your location is, and then we can all screenshot this at the end. And then I don't know anybody in New Jersey, so I'm excited to know you, but I'm going to not have that at the end of the call if you don't change your name right now. So perfect. She did it. Love it. So everybody go change your name and put where you're from so we can screenshot this, and then we're going to put you into our databases and we're going to start prospecting and marketing with each other, right? Love that.
Carrie,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, quick question. How do we actually ensure that the person that we're referring, or the client that we're referring to the other realtor that we may not know, that they actually follow through with putting us in as the commission partner? Is there like a system or process for making sure that there's some structure around that?
Yes, very good question. And you definitely want to be cautious of that. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the referral network. There is a referral network inside of Command, and you can actually go in here and you can look for people. So you can see here, you can search by either a map. You can search in this little drop down button where it says production. You can, maybe you're newer. I'm very passionate about newer agents. So for me, I'm usually looking for another productivity coach that I can refer business to one of their newer agents. Maybe you're very passionate about making sure that your multi-million-dollar buyer you're referring is going to be handled by somebody who's in luxury and is used to handling that kind of a client. So you can do a drop down here. You can figure out exactly what their production is. So once you find them here, you get to set the amount of the referral fee, and then they do have to accept it. And it's all tracked in here. So once they accept it, they have agreed to that, paying you that commission. So play around with the referral network inside of Command. Something else that I do, probably because I'm a little bit old school, but I still use a referral agreement. So that is a paper that you are going to send them. It's basically like a contract that they do agree to pay you a certain amount, and referrals can really be set by you. So when you're passing a referral to somebody, you can say, you know, I would say the standard for us here is 25% of the deal. I've also seen where people are passing a listing, they expect to get a little more out of it. So you get to set the referral. And so what I do on my referral agreement is I'm going to email that over with our agreement without giving them the client's information first. I get them to sign it. It comes back to me, and now I give them the information. Referrals are tricky too, because you do want to continue to follow up with the agent just to make sure they're taking care of your client. So that's very important too. I don't think there's anything wrong with interviewing 2 or 3 agents as you're sending a referral to someone, just so that you get a feel like, is this somebody that you can tell is going to follow up? Are they good at communicating? Because sadly, I have had some referrals. I'm very into referrals, and I've had a few that haven't turned out, where they just kind of fall off the face of the earth. Well, I don't want that to happen for my clients, so I really do like to vet them out. So you can do it, you know, through the network system. You can Google Keller Williams in New Jersey. You can go to their team leader, their productivity coach, their broker, and just say, hey, I'm looking for an agent who can handle this kind of a client. And then you can kind of interview from there. So several different ways. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so any other questions or thoughts on referrals, client referrals, agent referrals, business referrals, worldwide referrals? We have lots of those, business to business referrals. Sorry, I got talking and didn't keep up with my slides there. Cool. And we kind of talked about farming.
Terry, I also had another question when you talked about international networking or looking for worldwide referrals. So right now I'm in the UK, and so I would love to connect or find out how to connect with any Keller Williams Market Center that's out here. So how would I find that? Would I just go on to Keller Williams UK, or would I go on to Command? What's your best advice for that?
You can do both. You can do both. So if you're there right now, I probably would Google it and see how close a Keller Williams office is to you. You're welcome. Keller Williams is a huge family. You can just pop right into their office, introduce yourself. And I love doing that when I'm on vacation, just checking out other offices. It's my family drives them crazy, but I love doing that. So I would find wherever the Keller Williams is closest to you and check out their office hours and just go pop in. They would love to visit with you.
Awesome. And I just did it. So I see a whole bunch of red dots. So I am excited. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Did you do it in Command or on Google?
I just did it on Google. I did Keller Williams UK.
Perfect.
And they asked for the postcode and it came up.
Yeah, you definitely can do it inside of Command too, on that map. But yeah, Google's quick. So awesome. Okay, so we really have talked about farming. Okay, so moving on to events and seminars. Hopefully this is something that you guys take advantage of or get excited about. I love telling the story that we have an agent here in our office. She's definitely one of our millionaire real estate agents, and she walks around the office and says, I make $1 million a year hosting a party every single month, and that is her entire business plan. So I've seen people build really big businesses around events and seminars. So events and seminars can be fun events. They can be educational events. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can actually do events. So think of things that you're passionate about. I think it's always a really good way to come up with that. We've already talked about wine and cheese. We've talked about wine and chocolate. 2 of my favorite things, 3 of my favorite things. But really just kind of thinking about, these are really good ways to get together and host parties. We have people that do micro events. So like I have one that does gals lunch out. So she takes, she offers to bring 5 or 6 of gals out to lunch. They pay for their own. So it's not even something that they're paying for. Grab your best friend. Let's all go get petties. Bring somebody that I don't know. There's a lot of different things you can do for smaller events as well as the big events. So here in our office, we do host big client appreciation events. So we host at least one per quarter. There's big pie events you could do. Today's National Pie Day. So today would have been a perfect day to do a pie event where you give out a pie, free pie, or they come and, come to your office and give you a referral and they get a free pie, something like that. So events are really easy to come up with. You could do bigger events too. So think of big events like a neighborhood cleanup. So, we are getting into spring. So you're probably in an area, it's spring cleaning. Like, let's start that. Let's get into a neighborhood and let's everybody go pick up garbage around the neighborhood. And, you could use that in terms of prospecting, knocking on the doors, talking to people, handing out flyers, letting them know when we're going to do the neighborhood cleanup. So you can really do a lot of prospecting with events. Think of like photos. So, I like to think of photos now, springtime, you could do Easter egg hunts with photos, but I like to think of photos like in the fall. People love to have holiday photos, Christmas photos. I have an agent here who is very passionate about photography. So she hosts an event like once every other month, and she did several during the holidays. Just invite people to come over for a free family photo. We have a lake right here, so a lot of people will just invite people to the lake. Let's get on the bridge. You hire a photographer for, $150, or maybe you are a photographer. Photo events are a really good way that you can do events. Trying to think of some other ones. What else can you guys think of that you could be really passionate about when it comes to hosting an event?
I think for me, this falls right into my wheelhouse of what I already do. And so I remember at Family Reunion, Jason Abrams was talking in his segment, and he talked about just starting where you are and people who, think about the things you enjoy doing. And then there's always somebody else out there that's looking to do it. So because I already do a lot of women events for something else, I'm thinking that is definitely, when you talk about that individual in your office that does events and seminars, I'm like, okay, I got to reach out to Terry to get that person's name, because that is the angle that I'm looking at. That's already what I'm doing. And one of the things that just recently came up for me is doing things that empower women, or even help give them information, because I do a lot of volunteer work and charity. And one came up with about human trafficking. And so I thought, I'm going to start doing the women events wherever we're going to do a rooftop scene, the whole, whether it's wine or what have you, but around issues that concern mothers or women or that want to make a difference. How can you help? Informational things. So that came up for me. And the first thing I thought about when I get back home is I'm planning for one, just the informational about understanding what does it look like, because it's prevalent in a lot of communities. And so just because we live in a suburb or what have you, you may not think it touches us, but it does.
I love that. And I can hear and see your passion for that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that goes back to even what we had in the MREA and those lists, finding a charity or a passion or something that you can get around and host events around it, educate people. The difference between the seminar and the event is really, one is educational and one, could really be both, but an event in my mind is a little more maybe get together and have some fun, and the other one really could be a lot of education. So
yeah, and I was thinking about a combination of both, right?
Yep.
So there'll be some fun events, and then there'll be things where people really want to feel like, how do I make a difference? Especially at this stage in our life, sometimes when we're transitioning, kids are out of the house, they're going off to college. What am I doing next? And I know for a lot of women, it's about, how can I make an impact? What is my legacy going to be as far as what I've done in the world, and how can I help? And I think bringing women together to have fun and discuss those things is part of the angle that I want to go on. So I'm glad you touched on this today.
Awesome. Awesome. Love it. I can't wait to see what you do with that. Love to be part of it. Yes, so I'm seeing here in the chat, so seminars that I absolutely love, I see first time home buyer seminar, that is a great idea. Used to hold benefit concerts for Lyme disease, 2 to 3 day festivals, that's quite an event, so Vinny, how come we used to do it? You should get back to doing that. That would be really good for your business. First time home buyers, live music, that's exciting. I can get around live music too, so fun. So these are all, Jeff says veterans, these are all really good ways that you can host events and seminars. So love the creativity there. Find what you're passionate about. This business can be a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be so much, you know, we can hustle in a really fun way. So I love events and seminars. Our lenders in our office host basically a home buyer seminar. They host it once a month, and it gives us a really good excuse to invite all the people we know. So they call it different things, and really at the end of the day, it's just a really nice seminar. We can get together, we have a little bit of food, and the lenders can be the ones who educate them on the loans and why would we want to buy a house when the rates are high. You know, why do we want to be first-time home buyers? Why do we want to invest in real estate? They get to do the heavy lifting. We just invite people there and have a good time and learn something. So those are really good ways. And those are all really good, like your guys' is passionate that you're talking about. Those are really good ways to kind of keep things low cost as well. If you are tag teaming onto something that's already in place, like a charity event or something. So love that. Yeah, first time home seminars, we really have already talked about that. So any other thoughts on events and seminars? Anything else you can think of that we missed or didn't miss on that? It's a great way to get business.
I just thought of, like, what if you got a handyman at did a in-home meeting or a Zoom meeting where you have the handyman on, and then homeowners can ask questions about certain things in aspects of their house that, you know, things that they could do that he could suggest that they could do that they don't necessarily need it, like simple things. I don't know. Just thought that was an idea.
I love it. Like how to maintain your home. And yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Lean in on the people in your world. It doesn't all have to be on us. So yeah, like a handyman. I mean, I definitely am not going to be one that's going to, you know, coach somebody on fixing their roof or something. But if you had something where you're holding a seminar and you're leaning on those third parties to come in and teach people, I love that. That's such a great idea, Ellie. Thank you for sharing, you guys. Any other thoughts? Events? We do some that are really fun with like children. We do some that are really fun with adults. So kind of think of your target markets too. You know, who do you want to spend time with? You know, I'm always looking for families that are moving up and the children are getting older. And then I'm also looking for the people more like myself that, you know, they're empty nesters and they're kind of moving on to a different stage in their life. So where do you want to spend your time? I think that's a really good thing to think about with events. Really, and then just kind of thinking other things here. Leads are everywhere. So think of the grocery store, think of the coffee shop, think of the repair shop, your hair salon, dentist. So wherever you go, I kind of touch base on this. I really do like to think, where am I spending my money? And in return for spending my money at those places, I'm hoping to get business from it. So those are just a few ideas of that. And I've already talked about that. So moving on to capturing every lead, really how we're going to be capturing these leads. So a lot of this can, you know, really is so nice. Hopefully you guys are really learning a lot about Command and all of the tools. So the Command app is one of my favorite things because it is, you know, you're building that database and you're capturing these leads right on the go. So if you don't have that downloaded, make sure you have KW Command app. And then what you see here on the screen really is your Command database. So making sure that you are capturing people, making sure that you're putting them in here. Anybody on this call in my coaching program knows that I love to gamify this as much as I possibly can. And this, you know, seeing this screen where you can see the phone number is at 68%, the email is at 74%, the addresses are 20%, The neighborhood smart plan is only at 16%. This turns it into a game for me. So I can come in here and I can say, okay, I'm doing pretty well on my phone numbers, but I'm not doing great on my addresses. I really need to go out there and figure out how can I get more addresses, kind of tying back into the events, you know, hosting an event and saying, I want to invite you. What's your mailing address? I'd like to mail you an invitation. Very easy way to capture addresses. Events are the best way to get, you know, emails, and, you know, maybe you don't have their phone numbers and you're out on social media and you're like, hey, I'd love to shoot you a text with all of the information about my event. So there's I love that Keller Williams offers value in every single one of these areas, that we can go out and ask people like, hey, I have this cool app I want to text you. What's your phone number? Hey, I have this really cool program that is going to send you what's happening in your neighborhood every single month. Would you love that? Great. I just need your address and your email. So all of these, there's very easy ways to go out and collect this information and really make sure you're capturing it into your database. So yeah, and it also, I love this, so you can see that it compares to team members and it also compares to your market center. So if you're a competitive type person or you just really like to gamify things, this is a really good scoreboard to use on here. So any thoughts on that? I want to take a second and look at my chat really quick. Oh, I love all of you guys networking in the chat. That's awesome. So I don't know if you guys know this, but you can save the chat to your computer, and that might be a really good way to make sure you're capturing everybody who puts this in here, puts their information in here. So thank you, Vinny. You're putting in here how we can get help if we have any IT questions, any command help, all of that. Jake is on his command app daily and loves it. I know this is true. Jake is in my market center. He is very good at birthdays. So pulling up his command app every day and finding out whose birthday it is and connecting with them. So another piece of information you need to really get in the habit of capturing is birthdays, home anniversaries, all of that. And all of that is set up in command. So love it. Vinny's offering to help on command. Diane needs more emails. Emails I collect by offering the neighborhood smart plans. So that's a really good way to do that, or an event. You know, I want to send out an Eventbrite. I'd like to get you tickets. What's your email? So any of those seminars, events, all of that are really good. Jake needs more addresses. So again, I would refer you back to events or the neighborhood smart plan to capture addresses. Any other thoughts on command and capturing information inside of here?
I just was gonna ask, how do you save the text or the chat?
Oh, in Zoom?
Yes.
So you go to, let me tell you where you save that. Why am I not seeing that on here? Let's see. Everyone, screenshot. So there's a screenshot. Oh, here's the file. Okay, so if you look at the very bottom, you have like where the little emoji sign is. So next to that, it has a file. Just looks like a paper. And if you click on that, you can save it to your computer. You can save it to Dropbox. You can save it to a Google Drive.
Okay, I see it. Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. Good question. Okay, so kind of moving on to the lead generation plan. So connecting with your sphere, we've talked a lot about that through Ignite, connecting with your sphere of people, building and feeding your database every single day. So as I mentioned, I was with another company for a long time who did not teach me to build a business in a contact management system. So when I came to Keller Williams and we started building Command, I had to really get into a habit of getting into Command every day. So old school, I put a sticky note on my computer that said open Command. So every day until that became a habit, I opened Command and really made sure that I was building a business inside of it. Does anybody know the 4 laws of the database? Anybody tell that to me, or you can put it in the chat.
Feed it every day.
Feed it every day. That's one of the laws. Yep. Which we have here, build and feed it every day.
Yeah. That's all I know.
It's a good piece to know. So good job. Thicken to thrive. Yes. So we're going to add to it every day, make it thicker, nurture it. Nurture it is really good. Yes, I believe the actual law is systematically communicate with it. And so we're going to be doing that inside of Command with the 36 touch, the marketing pieces, the monthly neighborhood smart plan, all of that. So capturing leads. So yeah, it's basically have a database, build it, add to it every single day, communicate with it, and then service the leads that come your way. So following up with everything. So those are the 4 laws of the database. So you guys had a lot of them. Good job. Capturing leads from open houses. Make sure that you are capturing the leads. So open houses, the whole point, in my opinion, of doing an open house is to get people to come in and talk to you and capture them as leads. So also inside of Command, you can actually make a sign-in sheet. Use that straight from your laptop or iPad, and people can sign in and it will go right into Command and capture those people as leads. So you don't have to do the double data entry. So I love that. So capture leads from open houses, build community with social media and capture leads that way. Do a lot of you guys use social media? Hopefully. Get a couple of so-sos. Yes. Awesome. It's a really good way to get your message out. I just think it's a good way to level up. When I started real estate, we did not have social media. So being able to talk to hundreds or thousands of people at once is amazing to me. So,
You know what, I would say this, this might be a belief system that I have to get over, because I have social media, I have Facebook, Instagram, but I don't, for other things, I've done it for another business, but I don't do it from a personal standpoint. Like I don't get on it, I don't chat. My friends are always saying, how do you know what's going on if you're not on Facebook? And I think in my mind, even now, when we talk about social media, I'm thinking, okay, well, people think I'm a fraud because I've been absent from social media for a long time. Now, all of a sudden, I'm jumping on there. What are they going to say? I mean, and of course, social media is like your friends and family and stuff. But still, someone, you know, if my group here can help me talk myself into jumping back into Facebook, like, or Instagram, those who are doing it, like, what am I afraid of, I guess?
yeah. So I will tackle your question, and then I would love to hear what everybody else has to say about that too. So I don't think people are going to think you're a fraud as long as you do include some personal stuff. So, you know, nobody wants to be, you know, marketed to all the time. So I do think there's a fine balance on social media. We can't just shove business in their face. Plus, the algorithms of social media will make it so that our businesses aren't showing up as much as we want them to be. So I'm not an algorithm expert. Rachel Adams Lee is somebody you guys should follow. She's a coach and a very, you know, she's in the top of all agents in Keller Williams. And I've followed her for many years, and she does a lot on social media. And so basically what I learned from her is that you really should have 5 passions that you're communicating out into social media. So those 5 passions, one of them is going to be real estate. So basically what that says to me is every 5th post should be real estate. The other 4 need to be personal. So you do have to wrap your brain around kind of sharing who you are. People want to do business with people they like, they know, and they trust. And the only way for them to get to know you on social media is for you to share that with them. So I felt the same way. Social media was new to me, and I really felt like nobody cares what I'm eating. Nobody cares what I'm doing when I go home at night, but they actually do care. So, you know, get comfortable with sharing things. And I also, you know, I'm a firm believer in having business pages. You have to have them inside of Command to run ads and things like that. So I use my business page as a form of credibility. So I'm going to create my business page. I'm going to load it with content. And really that is for if somebody were to Google me, they're going to find information about me through my business pages. And I also am a firm believer that once we become real estate agents and we put our marketing out there, we really are no longer, we're not private. They know where we work, they know our phone number. So I also think that it's, you know, at this point, they are going to know who we are, and that's okay. So excuse me, think of your 4 other passions. So if you were to follow me on social media, you know, I'm obsessed with my French bulldogs. I love my English bulldogs. You're going to see a lot about my dogs. You're going to see a lot about inspirational messages. I love motivation and coaching. You know, I really part of a really big like running community. You're going to see who I am as a person. And then I'm going to sprinkle in real estate on there. So you're going to see an open house here and there. You're going to see an article about real estate. You're going to see the cute, fun pictures of, oh my gosh, look at this green bathtub. You're going to see the jokes about real estate. So kind of I don't think you're going to look like a fraud as long as you're sharing who you are as a person while you're marketing your business as well.
Right. And I agree with that. I don't think anyone who knows me will think when I said fraud, I meant like a Facebook fraud.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, I know
you
what you
never
meant.
come on Facebook. You never talk about Facebook. Now you're talking. I mean, I talk to people, share, and I do videos and all that kind of stuff, but I don't put it on Facebook. I find a way to send it to people individually. But now, you know, the whole social media, because I feel like it's a community. It's a
Yeah.
community out there in the social media world. And so I just
They're
wanted to
still
make
gonna love
sure.
you.
Say
They're
that
still
again.
gonna love you.
They'll love me. Thank you.
I would
Yeah.
say when it comes to social media, there's no one that judges you more than yourself. And I would also say to that is what people gravitate towards more now is vulnerability and real experiences from people. They're not looking for the picture perfect. So if people are like, oh, now you're on Facebook, you're like, yep, I was wrong, you were right. Let's move on. Just admit you were wrong to them, and they'll appreciate the authenticity.
Yep. I love that. Vinny, you are hilarious. I'm reading your comments in the Facebook or in the chat. That's hilarious. Yes. Thank you, Jake. I agree with you 100%. If you're not on social media, you guys, I would encourage you to do a 66-day challenge. Be authentic about it. Go on there in social media and say, hey, I've been challenged by my real estate coach to get out here and post once a day. And if you're doing videos, I agree with Vinny, they are going to love it. So if you're doing videos, get those things up there. If you're not doing videos, just say I've been challenged to post something, you know, once a day. If you're doing a video, say I've been challenged for the next 66 days to entertain you guys with a video. And by that time, they're going to be so entertained and love seeing you that it's not even going to be a thing. So force yourself to do it. 66 days, we can do anything, right? Awesome. Any other ideas for her or suggestions or any other questions or thoughts on social media? Evelyn says, do not think about it too much. You have to be purposeful. I love that. And she's connecting with 20 people daily with Facebook and Instagram. That is awesome. 80% personal, 20% business. Great advice. Love it. Social media, once you wrap your head around it, it really is, you know, it's a good way to stay out in front of people. David said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. David must have gone to a family reunion.
Yep. That was great.
Wasn't it awesome? Have you listened to the book or heard the book?
No, but I really need to add it to my list. I still remember it and I still think about it and incorporate it into my daily life.
I think it's one of those things you can't unhear.
Yeah.
So if you haven't or don't know what we're referring to, that was Mel Robbins, and there's a book called The 5-Second Rule. I would recommend listening to her because the seeds get planted a little deeper when you hear it straight from her, but the science behind it, it's just amazing. So there you go. You got lots of challenges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't think about it, just do it. Evelyn said, I've gotten more communication and reaction than I expected. It is so true. I can give you so many examples of business that I have received from not necessarily like calling and asking for business. And I can directly relate it back to getting business from people that maybe I haven't talked to. I mean, high school friends, like people I haven't communicated in a very long time have reached out, and there's really no way they would have known where I was or what I was doing in my life if it wasn't for social media. So I do think you get more communication than you're even thinking you will. So jump on and do it. Okay, so the next action plan is execute a referral strategy. Hopefully you guys were able to get some good ideas on how you can generate some referrals. And then also choosing a geographic area to focus your door knocking efforts. Consider events and seminars. So here's how we're going to take everything we learned today and turn it into a plan. And I would, most successful agents have 3 or 4 pillars in their business. So nobody's expecting you to take all 7 of these and implement them today. You really are looking to take 2 or 3 of your top things and turn them into strategies, and then, go forth with your business and make the goals happen with that. I always think of our GPS, or the 1-3-5. So, you have 1 goal, 3 strategies, and 3 priorities and 5 strategies underneath that. So if you can come up with your 3 to 4 pillars. So I either look at it as 3 pillars in my business, or you can look at it as like 4 legs on a chair. We really shouldn't be focused on more than 3 to 4 sources of business. Otherwise, it's just overwhelming. So pick what you've learned today, pick what you've learned through Ignite, and take action on it. And these are some really good ways to do that. So what are your ahas? What are you going to take action on out of those items? I will put that slide back on.
I think I'm going to go to my contacts in Facebook and say, who are my friends that are realtors? I would love to be your referral partner. Let's connect. And let me see how many in my, 900 plus contacts come out of the woodworks and talk to me. So, yeah.
Love it. Great idea. I'm going to hold you to it, Ellie. What else? What are other action items you guys are going to take from maybe this list right here?
I would say definitely the real estate challenge. That just seemed kind of the social media real estate challenge, rather. That seemed like kind of interesting to say, once you put a script out there, I'm challenged by my coach, I got to do this, and then just kind of get into it. You kind of throw something out there, and then now it's just building that consistency to keep going.
Yep. And there's a 66-day challenge calendar you can print out, put it on the mirror, check it off, do whatever you got to do. But I agree, once you put it out there, hey, I'm going to do this, people are going to expect you to do it, and you want to follow through. So if you make the commitment, follow through. Awesome. Diane, do you have a question? There you go.
I was just going to say that I'm going to try to get together with some other agents and see about doing some kind of community event or networking or something. Some other new agents that need some support too,
Yes. I love that idea. Yeah, lean on each other. We always, there is that saying that we go further together than we do alone. So grab the people in your office, grab your lenders, grab the people in your world who, they all want to do the same thing. So Easter egg hunts, those are getting really big around here right now. People are planning those. You can do very inexpensive things. And it's also so much better to do with other people, give everybody jobs and get it done. So I love that. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
One more. What's one more thing you guys are going to do? One more aha or piece of this that you're going to be able to take action on right away?
I'm going to be a lot more intentional about following up with open house leads.
Love it. Love it. So yes, capturing those leads from open houses, following up with them more. That's always, the fortune's in the follow-up. So I know a lot of people, we need to do better with open houses and following up with that. So Carrie's in Utah. We're going to hold her accountable to that too.
I have one this weekend, so I will report on Monday.
Awesome. Love it. Get accountability partners, you guys. It definitely helps. For some reason, we're willing to do things more for other people than we are ourselves. So those of you that are sharing this with us, you're making a commitment. We're going to take a screenshot of who's on here and we can follow up with you and Are you a good referral agent? Are you somebody who does what you say you're gonna do? So I'm excited to see what you guys do here. Awesome. Okay, so really getting into achievement, right? So now we're learning so much through Ignite. So think about, how has your thinking changed? What ideas or new mindsets are you taking on? I tell people in my world all the time, the thing I'm most grateful about being in real estate is the mindset shift that I've been able to learn through the many years. So if you're brand new, that's probably new to you. We are so blessed to be part of a company that cares about us and cares how we grow, cares our thoughts, brings people like Mel Robbins to talk to us. So I've always told people my favorite thing about real estate is the thinking, and not every company cares that much about it. So just so you know, we are very lucky to be with this company. What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful for you today? So I think kind of having that attitude of gratitude. I think it's really good to look back and say, what did I do right today? What can I learn from? What can I do different tomorrow? We're all learning. No matter where we are on this real estate journey, we're constantly learning. So how are we feeling about it? How will your behaviors be different going forward? My word of the year is action. And so you probably heard me say that about 100 times during this class. So I love that it says, what actions will you take? Anytime somebody says that they're, I'm thinking of doing this or I'm thinking this, I'm like, great, what's the next action you can take to move forward? So that's why I ask you guys so much. What's the one thing you can do that is a, actionable item, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that you can take action on right away? And then also, what tools, models, or systems will you use, and how will they make you accountable? So think about that. You're learning a lot about systems and tools, and how can this make you accountable? Who are you sharing this stuff with? I think the system we talked about today, like putting it out there on social media, you're doing a challenge. Now you have a lot of people holding you accountable. Your systems, your command, you can tell that thing to tell you to do anything. Hey, make sure I call this person on Monday. Make sure I set this person up on a new smart plan when this one ends. There's so many ways the system can hold you accountable. So think of what systems and models and tools can help hold you accountable. Get a coach. If you're not working with a coach, I can't say that enough. Get an accountability group. Go to masterminds. You want to be around the people who are doing the things that you want to do and that you can talk about it. Like, I love these classes where we can all get on and kind of talk about what we're going to do, what we're going to learn, all of that stuff. So I'm going to jump through the chat really quick. Just make sure I don't forget anything. Oh, I'm seeing Facebook profiles coming on here. I love it. Good job sharing. Vinny posted an hour ago on Facebook about taking extra trainings and how I thought it was funny. They said, talk to humans, until I realized I wasn't good at it. So I challenged my Facebook people to come have coffee or a cold one with me. Already 20 reactions and 4 meetings. Vinny, that is awesome. That is such an amazing way to take action. I think everybody should copy him. That is so great. So put yourself out there. He's got 4 appointments with friends. That's technically an appointment by posting on there. So I love that. And Vinny, you are from Pennsylvania. Awesome. I love that you guys are putting this on here. April posted her Facebook profile as well. Is it Natisha? How do I say your name?
Yes, that is actually
Is that it
correct.
right? Okay,
Yeah, yes,
Natisha,
thank you.
just like it's spelled. Oh, thank you. She posted the 5-second rule.
Yes, so this was the young lady, I guess, who was called on stage. What was her name? So anyway, James Shaw, who does the pivot call in the morning, he did a podcast with the woman, Maricel. And so they have that talk about the 5-second rule and how it was implemented right there on stage. So, I thought that would be great since David brought that up. I thought it was really good.
Love that. That is awesome. Five meetings. So we've got 5 meetings now. Does our productivity coach have to be in our office? I believe they do. I would check with your market center, David.
Okay.
Yeah. Not every market center has one. But double check with your office and see if that's what their policy is on that. Awesome, good questions. Thank you for sharing that. So again, just remember you guys can save the chat so you have all of this stuff. Yeah. Cool. So going back to your daily success system. So how many conversations will you be adding? How many number of contacts that you'll be adding? Number of handwritten notes? Number of social media engagement? Can somebody explain the 10-5-1 to me for the social media engagement?
Mhm.
What is that?
10 likes, 5 comments, 1 DM, I think.
Awesome. Yes, that's really, really good. I've also learned it another way of 5 by 5 by 5. So however you can remember this, I love the 10-5-1. It's right now we're in a changing market. It's shifted the last couple years, so we're upping our game from 5 to 10. I love that. The 5 by 5 by 5 really is the same concept. You're gonna post on 5 people's social media pages. You're going to like or love or whatever, react to 5 of their posts. And then you're going to go privately message or direct message 5 people for engagement. So if you can put that into, your daily success system of having those 10 conversations, those 10 people added to your database, and those 10 handwritten notes, that's just one other way to talk to a lot of people. So I love that, the 10-5-1 for social media and enrichments. How can you go out and enrich somebody's life with things? And I think Vinny's doing a great job displaying coffee or having a cold one with somebody. That's going to enrich someone's life. The wine and cheese, getting out there and, meeting with people and doing things they love. The events, the charities, all of that. That is how you enrich people. So I love that. Okay, so we obviously know we're not supposed to be, watch out for the do not call list, do's and don'ts. You can subscribe to the registry, be careful with all of that. And then the last quote that we have on here is, I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. So that is a really good affirmation you can be telling yourself every single day. So always come from curiosity, always add value to people's lives. So if you can engage every conversation coming from contribution, how can I add to them? And people are happy to be in relationship with me is kind of the final affirmation of that. I love this. So you guys, this should be in your book, so you have a copy of it. This would be something really good to put out and put in front of you wherever you're doing your lead generation. Okay, so role playing, that's a little bit hard for us to do on here on Zoom. So I don't think we'll do that tonight. What I would say is I definitely encourage you guys to do some role playing. So we do get scripts that are in your manual, and there's other Ignite scripts. If you're not seeing all of those in the manual, get a role play partner, get somebody who can hold you accountable. The Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook page is awesome. So I would definitely recommend getting on there. They do go through role plays. They go through all kinds of things that are very valuable. It's early in the morning, but it's definitely worth getting on there and just getting your day powered up. There are also Facebook pages where people are scripting and role playing. So make sure that you're getting involved in that so that you really feel comfortable with your conversations that you're having as you go out there and connect and engage with these people and capture the leads. Okay, so your conversation list. So we talked a little bit about this. So let's just take a couple of minutes. The activity I would love for you guys to do is the business to business networking. So grab a piece of paper, write out the alphabet, and come up with as many people as you can. We'll go for like 2 minutes. We won't take a lot of time. We'll go for like 2 minutes. Come up with those people A through Z that you need to add into your world, your accountants, your bankers, your hairdressers, all of those. Think of people that you know that you can take action on and reach out to tomorrow. So I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to do that. Okay, so that's been just a couple minutes, so hopefully you were able to get a few names and phone numbers, or at least names and businesses put down on your conversation list. Is anybody willing to share how many names they came up with? Or even if you don't have specific names, maybe like industries that you were able to come up with in 2 minutes?
Well, I know I was late to the game today, but I had a wonderful time locally. I went to a coffee shop today. I went to another brokerage. I went to a juice bar. I also went to a furniture store, talked to several people in the furniture store. Went to another barber shop. So I just tried to make I tried to make the rounds today, passing out cards, introducing myself. I had a really good time. Everyone was kind.
I love that. You went and did it in person. I was going to tell you guys to take action on giving these people a call. Amy's like kicked up that challenge a little bit. Let's go visit these businesses. I love that. Hopefully you were able to gather their information as well. And then you can now capture them into your command and prospect and market to them. So I love that. Such a good idea is, going and introducing yourself as the local realtor in the area. I love like the smaller kind of mom and pops. We live in an area where we have a lot of those. Go visit their stores. Like if I can shop local and I can purchase my closing gifts at a boutique down the store and go in there more than once, it's a different impact than going into a major box store where we don't get to interact with the people as much. So I love that she said she went to a barber and a floral shop. Like that is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. David said 1 phone call with a possible referral. She will contact me tomorrow. Awesome. Very cool. So get out there and ask for referrals, get people to call you back, book some appointments, go on those coffee dates. I love it. So that would be my challenge for you on the conversation list. It's so much better if you can prepare the list for the day of who you're going to go talk to. Prepare your action list. So you know who you're going to go visit, who you're going to call. That's just going to make everything better. So writing down names of who you're going to go after is awesome. Then make sure you add them to your database. Taking action. So getting out there, building relationships with these people. That's something you can do all during your lead generation time. Again, we want this to be enjoyable, right? So go talk to the people you want to talk to. And then also you're going to maintain this list by adding everybody into your database and finding out what additional information do you need from them and how are you going to gather that? What item of value will you add to that to be able to get them? Cool. Any other successes? Let's celebrate some successes from your week as we're inching to Friday. You've almost made it to Friday, guys. Which, have you seen the memes as a realtor, that really means nothing. Since we work on weekends most of the time. Any other successes from the week?
Well, I think it's a success that we're on this call. I don't know how many was on the very first call. I couldn't see, but I think they mentioned about 100 people and there's only like 35 today. So I think we're getting that percentage of people that are committed and we're doing this. So I say kudos to everybody that's staying on. I'm happy. I want to see your faces.
I agree with that. So it's funny, we actually are holding an Ignite right now in person in some of our offices. And we actually said that too. It's funny, the first day starts out so many people, and by the end of the week, you can kind of see who's hung in there and who's, really committed, even though it's tired, you get tired getting on here every single afternoon or every single night. For some of you, it's super late. So thank you so much for saying that. And I love it too. It's a huge opportunity for us all to be on here. So thanks for sharing. Okay, so we are going to kind of wrap up with some other ways you guys can get help. Make sure you're using your command. Make sure you're using Connect. There's so many resources for you guys as far as Keller Williams is concerned. As far as the trainings, learning your technology, there's 66-day challenges for command that I always recommend people doing. Going onto YouTube and looking at, it's Marty Miller. And he's on his version 8.0 for the 66-day challenge. I love it because it's bite-sized pieces of command, but get help. I think Vinny said he's going to be teaching it on Saturday. So if you're around Vinny, go and get some help there. Reach out to your leadership. Everybody's here to help you. So just looking at the chat one more time. I love it. Mickey Ann, we're doing this. Yes, we are. And April completed CE residential real estate. Good job. Good job. I know April, and she's working a full-time job and doing this thing. So good job, you guys. Okay, so next we just want to prepare for our next session, which is going to be Keep Every Lead. So get prepared for that. That's going to be happening. Today's Thursday, so that's going to happen again on Tuesday. So please come back. We don't want to see, you know, half of the people here on Tuesday. We want to see the number go up. So don't give up, come back. But that's really what you're going to be working on for next week. And again, it's a good opportunity because we don't get this all the time. So you guys are lucky to be on here. So anything else, that pretty much wraps up for me, but I am happy to answer any questions on topic, off topic for the last few minutes. Does anybody have anything else they want to share or ask?
I have a question. Since I was late getting on this evening, I noticed that it's recording.
Yes.
How can I get this where I can watch it right away?
So Amy, I believe, and you guys can correct me, I get a copy of the recording. I don't know if that's just because I'm an instructor. Are the rest of you getting the recordings? Can anybody
So
tell
far,
me?
No, I haven't gotten anything.
No? Okay.
I received
haven't
an
either.
email last week with recordings from last week.
Okay. Yeah, so it looks like people are getting them at the end of the week, so you should get a recording. Amy, I'm going to rename myself and so I'm the PC in the Utah Salt Lake County, and I'm going to put my phone number in here. You guys are all welcome to reach out for anything. I'm here to help. So if you do not get, hopefully you can see my phone number. Let me change that. I'll put my phone number first. So if you do not get the recordings or you need help with any of the slides or anything, let me know and I will make sure you get what you need. There you go. So my phone number is now on that. So again, make sure that thank you. Somebody said great session. I appreciate that. Yes, you're getting your emails. Awesome.
Okay, thank you. I've got it now.
Cool. And Vinny says, so where's Matt's off-road recovery? I don't know what that means.
He's in Utah, you guys have all those off-road trails. He's a recovery specialist. He's a YouTuber, and he has a family that he goes out and drags all these beat up trucks out of the Utah mountains.
It's probably Moab.
Yes, it is.
Yep. That's where a lot of our off-roading happens, is in Moab. Yeah, come visit. We got Park City, we got St. George, we got Moab, we got national parks for days. It's a beautiful place to visit. Yes. Okay, you guys, any other questions? Anything else I can help you with tonight? You guys have been a great class. Thank you for participating. Zoom can be a little challenging when you're the only one talking. So I really appreciate you guys participating and staying awake with me. And yes, have a great evening. And hopefully we will see you guys back here on Tuesday.
Oh, can you remove your sharing of your screen so we can take a picture?
Oh, yes. Good job. Thank you for reminding me, and let me know anybody who wants a picture. Here's one page and then I'll turn the pages. Okay. And those of you that came late, like Amy, so what I had everybody do was change their name to where they're located because we talked about agent to agent referrals. So I like to take a screenshot of everybody. Oh, look, people are turning their cameras on. I like to take a screenshot of everybody on my classes so that I can go out and connect with you guys. And, hopefully we get to meet each other one day. We get to network together, all the fun things. So everybody good on the first page? Okay, here's the second page of participants. Amanda, I love your background. I need that in my life. That is so cute. Okay, you guys have been wonderful. Hopefully you got everything you need here. Let me know if there's anything I can ever help you with. Take action and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
You are
Thank
welcome.
you, Terry.
You are welcome. Bye, you guys.
Okay, good night.
Good night.